As a school psychologist and team facilitator, I have been involved in multiple systems within an elementary school. And being a part of these systems, I have observed the supervision and administrative roles required in general education and special education. With the increase of resources dedicated to educational services, administrative and supervisors are held accountable for significant issues in education that have systemic effects. As an educator, I have felt those pressures that are passed down from regulations to states, to districts, to administrators, and down to the school work cultures. There's a significant issue impacting practical application of theoretical leadership in special education. Special education can be considered to be early in its development with its arrival shortly after the Civil Rights Movement. Educators in special ed feel the need for a realistic, uniform purpose and a clearly defined set of directions for the special ed programs led by supervisors and administrators. Educators also desire to have a voice in the decision making that impacts their work while knowing their knowledge is listened to and their practices are respected. The positions reflected in this argument are the comparisons between collaborative approaches to supervision and non-directive approaches applied to supervision by special ed administrators. With collaborative supervision, the pros are there are complexities within disabilities, eligibilities, where team opinions matter. An important goal in the collaboration process is to avoid the instances of students being referred to special ed because of the failure of educators providing quality instruction, effective classroom management, and improper special ed assessment. Another complexity within special ed is the IDEA, which is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act that identifies 12 types of disabilities. The disabilities are also known as eligibilities for qualifying for special ed. And within each category, there are varying identifiable conditions. An example of this complexity is demonstrated for the eligibility of autism. Socially and educationally, autism is considered as a grouped spectrum of 4 communication disorders. Another example of the challenges in the criterion for special ed eligibility is the other health impairment eligibility, which consists of health conditions as diverse as asthma to epilepsy to diabetes. Collaborative supervision is an effective method to develop and support the special ed teams through recruitment, retention, and providing professional development opportunities to special ed teachers and related service professionals. Modeling collaborative behaviors is beneficial because a significant issue in special ed administration is promoting collaboration between general ed teachers, special ed teachers, and related service providers, in addition to collaborating with building administrators and principals to ensure that all students have access to high-quality educational programs. The cons of collaborative supervision are that there's the possibility of stalemate decision-making when every professional disagrees due to each team member's perspective having importance in the final process. With non-directive supervision, the pros are school administrators have a large stake in what happens within their building rather than the special ed administrator. Each school has its own system. Therefore, special ed administrators should be flexible. Adding to that complex issue are differing licensure and certification requirements across states. Different states have varied in the endorsement and certification requirements for special ed administrators. Teachers respond by forming closer advisor relationships with other teachers. This encourages independence and initiation of teachers and pushes them to rely on each other for support, resources, instructions, and to vent out their frustrations. Experienced professionals also prefer non-directive. These educators have been the teachers with years of experience and a solid method for how they pursue resolving their difficulties. The cons of non-directive supervision are that procedural compliance is very important in special education. IEPs and all other special education paperwork is needed to be in compliance with the IDEA laws. Strong supervision is also needed in special ed. Significant issues have been special educator job role descriptions are ambiguous and conflicting. There's also an overzealous procedural compliance. There's also lack of system supports for special educators. There's a mismatch between student needs and teacher activity. There's also teacher isolation, a diminished pool of potential special ed teachers and professionals. So this has been a comparison between collaborative supervision and non-directive supervision.